What is the predominant slower downer or preventer altogether of the things that you want? What it is your fascination with what is. You're looking so hard at what is and cluttering all of your beingness with vibrational frequencies. And in doing that, you're not focused, as creators always focus, on the becoming of something that you've set into motion. So now we'll just sum it up and then we'll get on with it, because you've heard enough. We're satisfied with the movement that took place within you. And we are certain that as we move forward, some of this foundation will be really meaningful in your understanding of some of the things that we talk about as we move forward. But to sum this section up, we just want to say to you one more time in much easier to understand words. Everything that you want, that you're waiting to show up in your life experience, is in that invisible, vibrational readiness. And you have got to call yourself to it and it to you by matching the frequency of it. And when you are looking at the absence of it, you're not doing that. When you're upset that it hasn't happened yet, you're not doing that. In the looking for it where it isn't yet, you're not doing that. But in the sort of kind of looking, rather feeling, rather sensing, rather understanding that it's there, and understanding that it's real, and understanding that you gave birth to it, and understanding that your inner being is all over it, and understanding that it's ready to become for you, and that it's natural that it would, and understanding that when you stop doing that thing that isn't letting it become, when you quiet your mind, then you allow it to become. So we're just asking you to understand what we've been talking to you about for a while. Step 1, step 2, step 3 of the creative process. Step 1 is you ask for it. Well, how do you do that? You sort and sift, and you know what you don't want. And when you really know what you don't want, the other end of that stick lights up equivalently, but on the other end of the stick. And you've set something big time in motion. And everything that is non-physical, the energy that creates worlds, is all over what you created, because you deserve that, and because you're worthy of that, and because that's how it works. You are never left out of one creation, not ever. You're just often not tuned to where it is. We think that understanding that where it is in this beginning form, and that where it is vibrational, and you can't translate vibration. You don't sound like Jerry's electric guitar. You don't sound like that. In other words, you're not electronic, but you are vibrational. You are vibrational. And as we move forward here today, you will demonstrate it, but we'll point it out how once you get hold of the vibe of who you are and what you want, and once you stop doing that thing that slows it down, all kinds of things that have been in your vortex for a very long time, that have been in a sort of holding pattern because you didn't know then what you know now, will start being realized by you. Sometimes people use the phrase, we've used it too, whatever matters to you will be revealed to you. Yeah, it's being revealed to you in vibrational form. And you say, big deal, I can't understand the vibrational form. I don't understand vibration. Yes, you do, because you understand emotion. And all you got to know is, does it feel good or does it not? And if it feels good, then do whatever you can to hold yourself long as you can in the frequency of whatever felt good. And it is our promise to you that that feel good will turn into something that is even more meaningful to you, like a thought. And then you'll say, oh, wow. Oh, wow. I am consciously aware of the becoming of my vortex. And then as the idea comes, it will take your breath away as you begin to realize that you've got this. As you sit next to someone on an airplane, and at first you're just two strangers trying not to get in each other's way, and then you start noticing vortex-like things about each other, and then words occur to one or the other of you, and you start having this harmony, this harmonic thing begins happening before either one of you dare to look at the other, or before either one of you even says something to the other. And by the time you get off of that short flight, you're saying to each other, yeah, that's like that law of attraction thing. So, what would you like to talk about? It's going to be a really good day. Come from over there. Yep, you're the one. Is it weird to think about being a vibrational being who has the ability to translate it into so much more, but are you willing to just be vibrational for a minute about all of the things that you want to become more and more and more? Yeah.
One of the ways that I calm my nervous system and my mind is with specific strains of cannabis. And I want to know if I'm muting my manifestations or if I'm slowing them down, or am I following my guidance system correctly?
You tell us.
I feel like I'm following my guidance system.
Well, after these questions.
Yeah.
We always root for what we want. So, what's that like?
Oh, I feel focused. I feel like I can hear my inner being. I feel like I get really excited about my projects. My thoughts are not doubting myself. I do what I want to do, not what I should do. I feel...
We take everything we've ever said back. This emotional guidance scale, can you hand that to us? It's been replaced by cannabis. Next. We're not making fun of you because there's a lot to what you're saying. But we agree with you that it can be effective in distracting you from the stress. And we've been talking about that already here, mostly here. And so distraction from the stress is a good thing. And detachment from things that you already have habits of vibration are good for you. Anything that helps you to break the cycle of resistant thought is helpful in raising your vibration. And when you do raise your vibration, many of the things that you described are the result of that. In other words, when you raise your vibration, you feel better. Now, relief does feel better. There are many degrees of feeling better, but better and better and better. But the clarity part, we want to hear more from you about, because we've never known anyone, and we've known everyone, who found clarity from cannabis.
Yeah, it doesn't react to me the same way a lot of other people.
It doesn't allow you, because what it does, it puts your guard down, which makes you then accessible to other frequencies. But the other frequencies that you're accessible to are not the frequencies of the vortex. Does that make sense to you? So you feel better than you felt when you were accessible to all the frequencies that you're usually accessible to, all the things that you worry about. But it's not going to get you into alignment with your inner being. If it makes you feel better, on that, there was some value. Maybe we can put it back together. There is value in moving up the emotional scale. We're just saying to you, that's not going to move you up to the place that we've been talking about. So having said that, now what was your question?
Am I muting my manifestations if I'm using it?
Yeah, you're slowing them way down. Slowing them way down. You're taking yourself to a place, but not to the place where your inner being has been tending everything that you've been working on. So just don't do it all the time. Just anytime you feel really bad. You happy with that?
Yeah.
Well, less than that.
Okay.
Go for it.
Quick, okay. My entire life, I've wanted to hear. I was born...
You've wanted what?
Pardon?
Your entire life you've wanted what?
To hear. So I'm deaf.
What?
I'm a deaf individual.
You wanted what?
So when I was introduced to you, in a very unconventional way, I was in a state of joy, and your name came up, Abraham, flashed in my mind. And at the time, I had no idea who you were, and I thought, I'm not religious. Why Abraham? This is weird. And my mother, actually, had read your name somewhere, and she told me to call it Abraham Hicks, go look them up. And so I did. And boy, that set off a train of good feeling thoughts and all kinds of gratitude and a wonderful movement. About 6 or 7 months later, I ran into an author, Louise Hay, and came across her book, Heal Your Body, and deafness is listed as one of the symptoms that's caused by a thought. So then I thought, my deafness was created by my thought. What if I could change that? So it entered a seed, And that seed manifested 4 months later when I received a hearing test that my hearing started reversing. Which is...
because there's a I can't hear end of the stick, and there's I can hear end of the stick.
Yes.
And so you were close enough that came and that came and that came. In other words, you can give someone else the credit, but if you weren't in the vicinity, then you wouldn't have found that path. And if it hadn't been that path, it would have been a path.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. The challenge that came with that is once I saw the possibility that were actually happening, meaning I was actually getting what I wanted, which was natural hearing, the opposite started showing up. I started experiencing anger and rage and all kinds of uncomfortable emotions that I had not exactly experienced and before.
See, that's what we've been talking about all day here today, isn't it? That as things become more, sometimes there's an advantage to not being able to see and hear and smell and taste and touch. Because you can hang around there. And so then once you accept that you can pick and choose and you can get in alignment, then you'll get to the place that you can hear what you want to hear. It's like, have you ever noticed when you're in a restaurant and there are people there with their children and they don't hear their children? You notice? They don't even hear them, but you do. Sort of like that. So, what now?
So my question is, in those moments where so I didn't get ahead of it, and the moment strikes, and the intensity,
the moment strikes
of the negative emotion, because the law of attraction has already taken hold of.
Well, that's not a time to do anything, because when you feel negative emotion, you've just had a step one moment and you've launched something over there. Now, maybe if it's new enough, you can think, I know what I don't want, what is it I do want? But when it's a moment that strikes, it sounds like there's more momentum about it. So don't try to do anything then, other than think, oh, I just added with clarity to what I'm wanting. And then, you see, we talked about step 1, 2, 3. Watch for evidence in step 3, not in step 1. Don't try to solve your problems. That's looking back at the problem and maintaining the vibration of it. In other words, just replay the recording that you just offered to us. I wanted that, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. Once you've lived it with one thing, it can happen with all things. Once you've shown yourself that unequivocally. And we felt the authenticity and the certainty of your story. We know you know what happened. And if it happened with that, it can happen with every subject that is important to you.
Okay, so what if there's another party involved and they are not letting up on that negative? They've added to the negative emotion.
Divorce them. Just like witnessing what you don't want, you have to find a way to vibrate more with what you do want. Just see them as good practice. And what Esther often says is, they are where they are, and the law of attraction is working, and it's not my job to change any of that, and it's not my job to figure that out or find harmony there. Look for what I want to find where it is. Look for your harmony with your inner being. Look for your clarity with your inner being. Don't look for someone else to shore you up. It's like, remember being a teenager? Maybe you don't. Do I look fat? You ask your friends. And even when you did, they were smart enough not to tell you. You're trying to get somebody to tell you what you want to hear, but if you're not believing it, it's not making any difference anywhere. Look for it where it is. That's where it is. We've spent enough time today talking about where it is that we're quite certain that you understand where it is. You've been remarkably willing to modify your biases. You've accepted in a strong way the existence of your vortex, and it's going to serve you so well. The next idea that comes to you, you're going to understand where it's coming from. The next idea that feels like you could do it, the next time you get that feeling that I want to do that, you're going to know that it's in the vortex and that it's real and that it's active and that you received that much of it. And if this time-space reality can provide you with the idea of it, it can deliver the goods all the way. Come on. Yeah, really good. Really good.